Gravity has its compression and has its expansion. It flows both ways. It's like a waterfall that's, the water is coming down off the cliff and splashing down, but it's also going back up, and it never collides with itself in this two-way waterfall that's occurring. That's the way gravity is. We call it full spectrum gravity, or the Arothion is another name that we've come out with for it. Full spectrum gravity simply means we're not bound by nature's and man's laws of gravity. We're going to go beyond. We're going to ride that magic carpet into the beyond and then bring it back, all back here. Not held by gravity, but gravity is a useful tool for compositing and then releasing and expanding. So it's like bring it in, create the reality base, create the illusion or to go experience, but then a constant cycling. Now let's open that up. Let's take the experience that you had, the reality that you're existing in. Let's play with it, and then let's open it and play with it again. Arothion is the full spectrum gravity. It's gravity that not just holds things into this mass of Earth that you have, gravity that you're very, very familiar with. It's the gravity also that expands things and opens it up, and that is natural. I mean, you could say it's a natural law. It's very unnatural to be confined into the type of gravity that your sciences define. That's very unnatural. It hurts. It really, what do you say? It kind of bites. So Arothion is coming back to the natural state where gravity not only coalesces and bring things together, but gravity can also expand. It can open up. It can go into new realms. So it does both. It can do it separately as a force that brings things together, and it can do it together where you have both the expansional and the holding in type of gravity. Gravity is perhaps one of the biggest forces in your life. It's not often talked about. Everybody, is kind of aware of it. You throw a ball up, it comes down to the ground. It's the old Newtonian theory, and it's partly right, but not fully right. And we, as metaphysicians, are exploring now that full spectrum gravity, the other side of it, and how to be in one or the other or both at the same time. I love these discussions when we can talk about the next steps, the metaphysics, when we're beyond the wounds and the difficulties of life, and you realize now you can really open up and enjoy as an embodied master. Arothion and gravity not only hold physical objects together and in Arothion allow things to expand, but they also have an equal effect on things like your thoughts, your beliefs, your history, your background, your remembrances of the past. There is a gravity that holds those together as well. It doesn't just affect physical objects, it affects everything. And in a way, it's been kind of nice because it's kept, kind of things intact for you. It's kept them together. And it's given you a very focused experience on this planet. But as we get into Arothion, the other side of inbound gravity, you realize that there's so much more. And you realize that this thing of gravity has been holding even your thoughts and beliefs into limitation. It's not a bad thing. It's allowed you to experience in a, you could say, defined or limited form. But there's so much more. You're not so confined into just this kind of box that you've been sitting in. And even though you may cuss that some things just aren't working out, you forget how to drive your car for a moment anyway. You forget where pots and pans are in the kitchen, and that you're sure that you're developing this thing about Alzheimer's or just getting older and can't track anymore. What will happen in this as we go into Arothion is your mind will adapt to it, and it will use a little bit different way now of remembering where your sock drawer is, or remembering phone numbers. These things start to go out of your brain, and you think that there's something wrong, but you start reconnecting in a different way. It'll be much more intuitive. It won't be as linear as before, and it'll be much more efficient. So it'll take less energy, for instance, to type once the brain catches up. And it will, because the brain is also held in by gravity, kind of a captive of gravity. It will realize that things are opening up, and it'll adapt. It'll adapt. I can hear some of you right away saying, well, how long, Adamus? Does it take a week or a month? It doesn't really matter. Just take a deep breath and relax into that. Just going into a Rothion is huge. I mean, huge in terms of staying on the planet, staying embodied, and continuing your everyday life. It's a huge leap back to the natural. So don't fret the small stuff. That only creates extra stress and tension and deprives you of really experiencing what it's like now to go into the full spectrum of gravity.